Hey, welcome to the channel. I figured I should give some background of who I am since this is my first video. I'm Scuff Meta. I am a AAA gameplay programmer, and while I've never worked at Blizzard, I have worked on games that you've definitely heard of and played. I've been a gameplay programmer for about 10 years with a small stint doing systems work in gaming, and I felt compelled to make some videos to answer some common questions and comments that I see often. One of which is, I feel like game devs don't listen to criticism for their games. So how do game devs handle criticism? Okay, well, I can't speak for every developer, but our industry is pretty tight-knit, and you get to meet a lot of people from a lot of different studios, especially if you're part of one of the larger monoliths of gaming right now. That said, I can share with you what I've seen and heard personally, which hopefully will paint a fairly accurate picture of the industry. The dev cycle looks something like this if you're an average developer, i.e. not a C-suite. You work for months on a patch, or years for a new release, it goes into certification, and then it's hands down for that project, and if it was a patch, you start working on the next patch or even the one after that. And if you just dropped a game, well then a lot of people like to take a well-deserved break, or they hop right on to the next DLC, future patches, next game, whatever. The first that you'll hear about how your release is doing is from social media. In the beginning, it'll mostly be noise, but eventually you'll start to see trends on how it's being received. And let's talk about the internet for a second. With the internet, the consumer's voice has never been louder or more ubiquitous. Everyone and their mom has an opinion about everything, and you can't really escape it. And personally, I think that's a good thing, but I'll touch more on that later. Many gamers remember the good old days of games being stable and complete on release, and game magazines actually being useful and offering real insights on a game before you pre-ordered it. While digital distribution and aggregated review sites have undoubtedly been huge for gaming, the entire gaming ecosystem has kind of fallen into some really bad habits. Yeah, I'm looking at you. While I'm not going to sit here and defend modern day slop, it's important to remind people that even in the good old days, games had patches too. They were just a lot sneakier about it. You think that Game of the Year edition Skyrim that you bought for the 5th time had only new shit in it? Surprise, motherfucker! There were hidden patches in DLCs too, and games obviously look less broken when you didn't have the ability to put it on blast on social media the second your game crashed. So, games have always been busted to some degree, but it's hard to defend the last few years of gaming in particular. Some of these games are just either straight trash or broken on release. Okay, so you're sitting at your desk working on the next thing when one of your colleagues or a friend you know or some rando from your feed shares criticism about the thing that you just spent months or years working on. And usually it's conveyed in true internet fashion. That shit is fucking trash, dog! So what do? From my experience, it's something like this. If you're a gamer, I'm sure this won't be a surprise to you. There's a lot of bad blood in gaming right now. I grew up wanting so badly to be a game dev, and even the idea of meeting one was crazy. Now our reputations as developers are so shitty that I try to keep that shit to myself. Criticism is hard, and the internet is a wild place, and I think most people aren't equipped to handle it, and there are a lot of developers out there embarrassing themselves and their studios. No one is safe. I see individuals all the way up to studio heads making this mistake. Time for the big open secret. Yeah, there are many developers that just hate their audiences, and I'm sure that this is vindicating for some to hear. When something that you've helped create gets dunked on, it's really easy to be defensive. And there's also this misconception that you don't have to be professional if the people trashing you aren't. At best, feedback online is pretty brutal, and at worst case, it's not even feedback, but honestly, I don't really care. This is just how the internet has always worked, for better or worse, and if you take things too personally, you're gonna have a worse time. But yeah, some of them actually do think that they're just above you, and you should be thankful to get to play whatever they made, but most are just in their feels. Then there are the more intelligent and more cynical devs that just ignore the comment sections entirely and go on with their lives, like real adults should. Cringe, I know. Many of which are the graybeards. These legends are the actual OGs that built all of the games that you love, so I think that they deserve to dodge the hate. Also in this group are the blood-sucking corpo vampires who are just phoning it in for a paycheck or promotion. Sadly, there are enough skinwalkers that just see their position as transitory and are ready to nope the fuck out as soon as they start to see wear on the ship.
Not looking good, Bev. It's not looking good.
Lastly, yes, there are devs that actually read all of your very eloquent feedback and try to do something productive with it. They channel all of that hate and unleash it on their producers, PMs, maybe their leads or skip leads, with hope that the same catastrophe won't return one day. Success on this front varies, and from the sentiment I hear from colleagues, it's getting harder to make that positive change. Are there big whiny babies in game dev? Yes, there are. Are there people pushing their political agendas, their social agendas, their personal power trip agendas, their mental illness agendas? Absolutely. That said, there are a lot of very good people working to make shit that they love for people that would probably love it too. I'm not talking about just like modern audience shit. That is usually pushed by higher-ups that are really disconnected from the actual process, that are chasing quotas. Or from people in leadership or director positions that have a death grip on the creative process. Newsflash, we don't usually get what we want. Hell, I would go as far to say that in most places you barely ever get what you want. Things have to get cut, directions change, company politics strip you of your agency, and yes, there are some cabals of people pushing whatever they want onto whatever project, even if it's unhelpful. But believe me when I say, if you are disappointed in a feature, there is some poor schmuck out there that is devastated that their actual fun fucking idea got shit all over by the powers that be, and then they go home to doom scroll, and guess what? The internet gets a turn to shit on them too, and then they put on the mask and begin their anime villain arc. Okay, so you might ask, since we're zooming in the fucking future, why aren't we at the point where companies are more transparent and actually give people what they're explicitly asking for instead of whatever this is? You have the people with the money that have never even seen what a game looks like because they've spent all of their time leveling up their trade skill. But then they get told by some studio head that if they give them big bags of cash, they will give them that sweet 10x multiplier. They want to believe you, they do, but they didn't get to where they are by trusting every goon with a dream, so they want some assurance that they aren't getting baited. So they do a little research. They ask ChatGPT what the kids are into these days and what are they buying, and they smash it into a spreadsheet. And because the internet is a terrible place full of gooners, drama, and cloud chasers, the things that they think that people will buy are distorted and hideous, just like you. So then they try to hedge their bets. They take this big list, and in exchange for the money, they ask for all sorts of things. It's got to be so real that you forget if you're looking outside or not. It's got to be bigger in surface area than all of Rhode Island. It's got to have a lady with no hair and a purple mustache. What are you doing about the game boxes and the loot passes? Those 9-year-olds can afford them, right? You're telling me that they have an iPad but not $5? What game are you making again? A single-player fantasy RPG? I don't know what any of those words mean, pal, but it better have a purchasable skin of Sabrina Carpenter with an LMG. So anyway, that all trickles down to the studio, and most of the designers are mad. The marketing team is already working on all of the merch and declaring dates for when everything is releasing without telling anyone who is responsible for that. The community managers, well, at least the sane ones, want to have an open dialogue with the players, but the legal team hates that, and you know what? They're not even wrong, to be honest. So then every chance for early feedback gets cock-blocked. Then the devs, who are pressured for time, have to start cutting features because one of the many money people just heard about this cool thing called AI yesterday, and if you want enough money to actually finish the game that you're working on, then you're going to have to cut some non-essentials. Those pesky deadlines that were carved in stone by marketing before even a single developer had tippity-tapped a single key on a keyboard are finally approaching, and your producers and PMs have assured you that despite not being able to move the dates at all because they've already been plastered all over the internet for half a year, you should just believe that everything will get done, and you just need to keep going. Don't look at the release window. Did I catch you counting how many days we have left? Then the game has been pushed back for the 8th time or released looking like a jigsaw puzzle with 40 pieces missing. Everyone is mad. Something people appreciate about indie developers is that they are upfront with the challenges that they face and they focus on the most essential essence of their game. This isn't because they are uniquely capable, it's just that they don't have the time or the resources to fuck around and get distracted. The ones that do, you have never heard of because they've never released. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but people don't have the time nor the interest for every game that they play to be like being reincarnated into another world. Many already have their forever game, and if you're going to try to replace it, then it better do something that their forever game doesn't already do. This recycling of game titles forever sucks. The price tag on games exploding because of features that people don't actually care about is out of control. We can surely progress gaming in more ways than just making things bigger and prettier. And look, if you've already dropped the ball and your options are now release borked or push it back, maybe listen to the professionals that you're paying who actually know the state of the game. Don't blindly listen to non-technical middlemen. They will lie to you about progress, and their burned down charts have never been correct. Does this mean that individual developers have no blame in the process? No. Does this mean that devs don't deserve any criticism? No. Here is my feedback to other individual devs out there, and it comes from a place of love. Sometimes, y'all are just fucking babies, bro. I've seen the crazy shit that people DM you and it sucks, but I mean everybody gets trashed on the internet. And in virtually every case, if you are offended, you can just walk away from your screen, fam. If you aren't to blame for the problem, don't read it, it's not for you. And if it is for you, remember that those people are your fans, even if it doesn't seem like it. Hate is just passion with a scary mask on, so if they are invested enough to be mad, then let them vent. I understand that almost every solution they think they're giving you is brain dead and misdiagnosed. But trends hold weight. Even if you don't like them, these people pay your bills, they aren't owed anything, but if you want to keep your cushy job, I suggest you at least listen. People rarely know what is wrong, but they can tell you if something is wrong. It's our jobs as professional game makers to translate all of these monkey screeches into an actual solution. So I don't know, chill a little bit. Stop fighting with the fans on the internet, stop wishing people's personal downfalls, and stop having such enormous fucking egos. We're not rock stars, we're just people that make toys. Okay now, my dearest pay piggies, I know times have been hard. I'm sure most of you are feeling abused, talked down to, and taken for granted, and not even in the fun way that you like. Much like you, I'm scrolling Steam most days like, what is this trash? The big corpos got you by the balls. AAAGaming is the new standard. Nintendo wants you to buy Mario again, twice. And while our Lord Gaben isn't directly contributing to gaming's downfall, like an apathetic god, he averts his gaze from our plight. Despite all of that, I want you to know many of us really do hear you and appreciate you. Some of us aren't out of touch, we're just out of options and lacking the ability to give you guys the product you deserve and what we envision. Sure, gaming is in a slump, but what are you gonna go outside and touch grass? Yeah, right. Just trust that many of us are working hard to make good games again. We're gamers too. Well, okay, maybe not all. Many? I don't know. Some? Depends on if you consider this a game. Anyway, we don't all hate you. Most of us just want to make fun games, really. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Let me know if this appealed to you or what you want to know about the game industry, or just leave your predictably wholesome criticism that I will surely read below.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care.
Peace.